Sun is bleeding its light on trees, honey dripping off the leaves, leaving paths full of bees scattered by the breeze. Crunching on their heads, newlyweds were trying to pay the feds. Money, unlike honey, didn't grow on all the trees, only chosen ones on which they didn't breed the bees. Storm was taking over all the halls, keys were lost in puddles full of glass. At last rain was shattering the glass. Please don't look behind these stalls, pleaded dolls of homemade walls. Who would listen to the dolls? It's not like they already heard those calls, but no. Another few shattered hearts, and here it is, another drowning in the arts. But of course, who would listen to the dolls? It's not like they already knew those calls. Those things that I like to call dolls probably were the last new additions to the house. Of course, not counting the lost souls that were still being thrown in loops. Dolls were made of walls, or they were ingrained in the walls. It was really hard to tell since they merged together with old slimy mold which has existed around these corners even longer than the house. Their high squeaky voices reminded of crows that have drunk a few bottles of whiskey and now completely drunk were screeching for water. It was really unforgettable noise that everyone who walked by the house could still hear in their ears. But, as with the most things in life, everyone always thinks that they are the exception, not the norm to the rule. The house wasn't much different from the dolls. Without a house, dolls would have already been gone a few centuries ago, and house wouldn't have had so much entertainment in its life. Probably because of that, it was still trying to keep, hide, and trap the dolls. But dolls wouldn't have left either way. Who was trapped with who, that was the real question. If you would have asked dolls, they would have answered that a house is trapped with them, but if you would have asked house, well, then you already know the answer. They were living with each other in continuous repeating loops in which they chose to stay because of their own desires. Doll's favorite part of this house was the library. From first glance it looked full of books and stories, completed with unending paragraphs about the past. At least that's how previous owners wanted to present it. Reality was a tad bit different. Half of the bookcases were empty, and another half was a mix of letters, documents, mimics, and sketchbooks. I wouldn't call it a normal library, it was more like an archive of the long-lost past that needed a revival. All the guests of this house would notice the weird color shift that seemed to happen through the whole house. Pastels, leather, wood, pastels, leather, wood. Even the mold matched all the engravings, wallpapers, and colors of the walls. Furniture used to also match, but since Mr. Verovich, their old housemaid, left this world, it has completely transformed. It is impossible to tell any more what was what color or even if the furniture was supposed to be in the rooms that it was left in. Only the dust that had covered most of the surroundings seemed to be the only thing that indicated what, where, when, and how it was previously put together. Cars drove inside the garden right beside the mill that nobody could get rid of. Doors clanged and sprang, and outside came two seemingly average human beings whose looks I could only describe as an embodiment of Easter Sunday and chicken on a grill in human form. Modest, white, with such a little hint of color pink that nobody who looked at them could understand was it on purpose or did they by accident mix whites with reds. Their postures screamed 70-hour work weeks at a computer desk, and their hair showed the little desire that they had left within them to fit in human society, which was almost none. Breath of fresh air and smell of old soggy socks hit their face. Screams of old lost souls that were still trapped in the house was like music to their ears, not moving out of place, still taking in the fact that they got here nor then spoke. Finally we arrived. I thought you said it will take only 4 hours to get here.
Well, you know how I drive. I think we should celebrate the fact that we're still alive.
At last, their first vacation in 5 years where they could just relax, and from all the places and all the things they could do, they somehow chose to drive to this cursed house that Cory brought because of their curiosity and greed. It had been such a long time since they last were here that even if they wanted to, they wouldn't be able to remember what did they do or how they felt when they were here. They dragged their bodies and bags to the front door, where dolls, excited to hear footsteps of newcomers, squeaked louder than usually. "Here they come! Here they come! Here they come!" They screamed and screamed and screamed. Even earplugs wouldn't help those that were in close proximity of them. "Here they come! Here they come! Here they come!" When Norton and Cory got to the door, all dolls shut up. Their heads looked down, and if you would have seen their face you would think that the only emotion they are feeling is anger, and it wasn't far from truth. Norton and Cory were the only two people the dolls despised. "Do you have the key?" "Did we need a key? I thought I needed a password. Worst case scenario, we can just break the door." House and dolls didn't like that idea, so when Norton pulled the handle of the door way too fast, the door just slammed open, and Norton, like a vase left on a windowsill in a snowstorm, fell over quietly with dust slipping over all the place that he could see, feel, and smell. There wasn't a place of him left that hadn't been touched by dust. "Magic!" Cory, throwing their hands in the air, exclaimed. "Magic," murmured Norton. "I thought we had paid for cleaning." "Well, yes, but they didn't come. Apparently some disappeared." "From all the times they could disappear, you want to tell me they disappeared right when we paid them? How many times did you try to get cleaners? Did you again try to cheap out?" "3, and no, never." "Sounds very believable. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you with that." Norton got up and just went to the hall, leaving Cory on doorsteps. He didn't want to bother dealing with him anymore. Those 6 hours that I spent in the car together was enough for him. "Hey, wait! You know I don't remember where my room was." "You own this place. Any room you choose is yours." Dolls spied on all of their movements as if they would have come here with gasoline and cigarettes about to burn the whole house down. House didn't even bother tormenting or torturing them right now. It needed to wait till they got to hall. Pastels, leather, wood. Pastels, leather, wood. One repeating pattern after another, dust, dust, and dust, again and again. Norton couldn't comprehend why he agreed to go on this vacation with Cory. Even his job seemed more exciting than the idea of just getting stuck here for a whole week. Heck, not even day here seemed exciting. The only reason he came here was the promise of sleep, peace, and a week that he could erase from his memories without any guilt. These 3 things were the only ones he desired, and the only ones that he couldn't buy. Cory, like a puppy with short disformed feet, tried to run after Norton, but the closer he got, the faster Norton ran. Hall wasn't getting any shorter, and like before, everything started repeating again and again. Pastels, leather, wood, pastels, leather, wood. Even the paintings repeated themselves again and again. House couldn't miss out on this opportunity. They basically went into the trap, but none of them noticed or cared. They seemed more concerned about each other than the situation that they have gotten into. Pastels, leather, wood, pastels, leather, wood. Norton was starting to run out of stamina, but the thought of spending another 15 minutes listening to Cory pushed him forward. Pastels, leather, wood, pastels, leather, wood.